Good morning. My name is Max, and this is Resilience Wisdom, where we talk about different strategies, tools, practices that we can implement in our lives to build a more resilient body and a more resilient mind. Thank you so much for being here. And today I'm extremely excited because I want to talk to you guys about three topics, three practices, three lessons that I have learned as a graduate student at an Ivy League institution that and these strategies, I'm hoping, will allow you to pick up some nuggets of wisdom that you can implement in your life, whether in the way that you communicate with your family, in the way that you think, in the way that you navigate the world. Without further ado, let's dive right in and talk about the three lessons that I've learned as a graduate student at an Ivy League institution to build a more resilient mindset. The first lesson is the ability to shift your perception. As a leader, if you're leading an organization through a difficult time or a difficult transition, having the ability to shift your perception will allow that leader to better lead that team through that transition period. In a similar way, and as it applies at the individual level, if you have the ability as an individual to shift your perception of the things that are in front of you, of the circumstances that befall you, you will have a ability to navigate difficult situations and identify different opportunities in front of you to help you accomplish the goals that you are going after. So for example, I want to give you two examples. So let's say you want to go back to school and become an adult learner. If you want to go back to school, let's say, you have two options. You can perceive going back to school as something that is going to be taken away from the free time that you have. You can think of it as, adding more work to your already busy life. You can perceive it as, all the time that you're going to have to spend in class, writing assignments, reading. The other side of that, let's say you can perceive going back to school as an opportunity for personal development, to meet new people, to expand your worldview, to develop your thinking process, to expose you to better opportunities, to enhance your career development. So these are two different perceptions, but whichever perception you choose about that same circumstance will color the way that you see that circumstance, the way that you see the world in front of you. The second example I want to talk about is, let's say you think about working out and your perceptions about working out every day, right? You can choose to view working out as a waste of time, as very difficult, as something that you don't need to do, as hard as, let's say, it's not for you, etc. Or you can choose to think about working out as an opportunity to express self-love, to, become the best version of yourself, to, appreciate and have gratitude for your life, your health, your body. And those are two different perceptions that you can have about the same thing, but the way or the perception that you choose to internalize and embrace will color the way that you see that action, the way that you see that circumstance. So as a leader of your own self, you want to have the ability, or you want to develop and master the skill of shifting your perception. So that is lesson number one, the ability to shift your perception. The lesson number two is about stories. Stories are incredibly powerful. At the individual level, the story that you tell yourself about yourself, is the most powerful in terms of allowing you to reach whatever goals, whatever you want to achieve in life. The story you tell yourself about yourself will determine what you're capable of, what you think that you can do, what you expose yourself to, and how, you know, the kind of motivation that you derive to achieve your goals. So stories are incredibly powerful. For example, for me, I grew up in the Dominican Republic. I migrated to the United States when I was 12. I grew up in, for lack of better words, to a certain extent, extreme poverty. And for a long time, I always felt that was something that was a negative influence in my life, that I went through all of those difficult times growing up as a kid and growing up as an immigrant and growing up, in poverty. And it hasn't been until more recently that I thought about that part of my life, and I shifted the perspective and how I thought about those experiences, and have been able to understand and change the story that I was telling myself about those experiences, so that it provides me with empowerment. So, like, when I think about my past and I think about all the different difficult times in my past, difficult times growing up, in poverty, difficult times growing up as an immigrant, learning how to speak English, and all of those adversities that I've encountered, and who I am today, it brings me an incredible amount of strength, an incredible amount of conviction that anything is possible in life, that I am not a victim by any means, that I have agency and that I have the power to create the future that I want. So that wasn't always the story I told myself about those experiences. So as you can see, the story that you develop about who you are and the experiences that you have had will either empower you to create the future that you want or disempower you. So be very mindful about the story that you tell yourself about yourself. The third lesson is related to motivation and drive. At the individual level, thinking about your own life, what external motivators do you have in your own life that drive you towards achieving what you want to achieve in your life? And what kind of intrinsic motivators, meaning motivators that come from within, do you reinforce in your own life to help you achieve what you want to achieve? Now, an external motivator or some kind of practice that you can implement in your life to develop an external motivating factor, one sort of one practice that you can implement is, writing down your goals, writing down the kind of future that you perceive yourself having, writing down a ideal designed future that you see yourself experiencing, so that future can drive you forward. That future can pull you into the future in a positive way. So what you want to do is you want to write down that specific design future. You want to read it and remind yourself of that. You want to keep it close by, or you can choose what you want to do. You can put it away. You can read it every day, etc. But the idea behind it is that you have something that you have described that will help you reach out and envision the kind of future that you want to have in your life, the kind of experiences that you want to have. Intrinsic motivators are more internal. So these are motivators that you want to develop through truly taking the time to reflect and identify what is it that is important to you. What is it that you wish to accomplish in your own life? What is it that every day brings you joy? Having the understanding and the self-awareness to truly identify what it is that makes you feel the most alive, you want to identify what that is. And unfortunately, you can only accomplish that by truly taking the time to go within and really reflect and think about what it is that you want out of life, what it is that makes you tick. But when you identify that, when you identify what your intrinsic motivators are, what your external motivators are, and you combine those two, it will create an incredible force to drive you forward to accomplish whatever goals you set for yourself. Whatever goals are in front of you will be destroyed, will be achieved, because you will have a perfect combination of understanding yourself and having that self-awareness of what drives you, of what makes you you. And you will also have an external motivator, a future in front of you, a vision for where you want to go, what you want to do, what you want to achieve, the kind of difference you want to make. And by combining those two, you can achieve whatever you want in life. All right, guys, so that was three lessons that I have learned as a graduate student at an Ivy League institution that I hope will bring you some value, and that I hope that you will implement in your own life to develop a more resilient mindset. Thank you so much for watching. Please let me know, are there any of these lessons that you think you will implement in your own life? Please share. Please share any other lessons that you utilize in your own life to sort of develop a better leader within yourself to lead you to achieving the goals that you have in your life. Thank you so much for watching. Much love. Until next time.